Dismounting light dragoons. Is there ever a time when it could be necessary, where it can be beneficial? I guess I totally left out regular dragoons, but, you know. It's David with Fairmere's Rangers. Let's get down to it. So, dismounting light dragoons is a question that's been all over the place. People asking the question, is there ever time to do it? Oh, you've got to be totally kidding me. What, dude? That's totally crazy. I never even thought of using them for anything other than just policing bonuses, holding them in cities. Jeez, I guess that expensive unit could be used for something else. Look, dismounting dragoons does not do anything good against cav. It's a total waste. Well, we all know light dragoons are way better than the regular dragoons. That's a given. Look, the thing is, dragoons are totally useless. I only use heavy cav. What on God's earth would you want to use them even for dismounting? Well, okay. Heavy cav is gonna get beat against light dragoons, but okay. Well, I'm sorry, you're never gonna convince me having dragoons, let alone light dragoons, and dismounting them is gonna be good. Well, that sounds like a challenge, and that is accepted. Here, I'm gonna show you one way in particular you can use light dragoons, dismounting them, and actually be beneficial. Now, in this battle, it was actually a 3v4 situation where I was on the 3 side, and we were going to attack the 2 players on the top, and I was going to use my dragoons in a tactic that I like to use, where I dismount the cav, and I use the horses as a defensive barrier. Now, I was going to use them in a defensive barrier in a way that would make it really nice for me to shield off the enemy attackers, and then I was going to pair my light dragoons with my riflemen, give me a really nice tandem there. Well, that just sounds stupid to me. I don't see any benefit in that, having cav that doesn't even have horses. Dumb. Give you a better understanding of why I dismounted the dragoons there, I'm going to show you the battlefield in this area. Notice that there is a dip in the terrain right where I dropped my horses off, or right in front of it. So you can see I dismount my horses right at the connection point where I'm going to be faced against 2 players. So it might sound dumb to you, Volscare, but I'm trying to show you some sensible tactics here that you can use by dismounting your dragoons. Not only am I going to show you some tactics, but I'm later going to show you some of the benefits from dismounting the dragoons that have a nice little extra caveat, if you will. Well, this I'm waiting to see, because I'm not totally convinced at this point. You show me nothing to convince me at all. Alright, well, whatever. But I'm going to show you this in greater detail, and then I'm going to show you the benefits to it, that you can see the actual results of how this is beneficial to you later. But let me show you in greater detail so you completely understand what I'm trying to do here. So you can see in this 3v4, we're setting up a defensive barrier here. The player that's to my left is going to be holding the highest point of the map, the hill. I'm going to be in the center holding the most open ground. Alright, let me scoot down and show you my position. And you'll see that as the enemy approaches, my idea is to cause as many casualties on them as possible, and then fall back to the next barrier, which would be the woodland behind. Dismounting my horses where I did on the other side of this trees at the intersection point of the lines right here would give me a position where I could be shielded from enemy fire from that position. Now you can see our defensive positions over here by our ally of the other position holds all the way to the other red line. So we kind of hold a position along a very nice defensive barrier. So you can see where the line is thicker. That's where I wanted to focus a lot of my fire from my rifles and really cause a lot of damage to their elite units. Okay, so from here, this would give me a nice position where I could fall back to my next defensive position, which would be the woodland, with the horses giving me a nice defensive barrier to allow me to do so without inflicting too much damage upon myself. Well, I can tell you that things don't necessarily go as I had planned, and I have to rethink my strategy, but it still pays off, and I'm going to show you the results here in just a moment. So you're going to see that I'm going to have to quickly roll back to my second defensive position without even getting into any firefight because of the push of the enemies. So I am going to set up in the woodland, and this is where the deadliness happens. Pairing them with my riflemen, I'm able to first get my shots with the riflemen, and that's going to encourage them to push the range where my men are and then that's when my light dragoons come into action. Because once they push into range of my light dragoons, it's going to be a deadly volley on them as they've tried to take out my rifles. Now please take note, since light dragoons volley all at once, you get a massive volley of fire, and when they're dismounted, they will take less casualties from return fire. You don't believe me? Let's take a look at the results. So you can see I haven't taken any casualties at this point. 0 from my light dragoons. And the devastation of that hit makes them retreat. And I took them down from 120 to 90 on one and 51 on the other. Now that's some nice damage. And even then, later, I'm still peppering them with shots from my riflemen as they retreated back. And this constant hail of firepower is just going to push them into wanting to do something about my rifle fire, so they're going to push into it again. I'm telling you, it is just masterful. And watch the devastation again. Yeah, that was 90 men that came up, and they didn't even get a shot off. Many people bellyache about taking losses from light dragoons shooting themselves. Well, look at that, folks. You don't see very many casualties by dismounting them, and here they go again. They just keep sending unit after unit, trying to push back my riflemen, and they keep losing unit after unit. I mean, I'm taking out guards, I'm taking out all kinds of stuff. So in the course of this battle, after I've whittled them down, by using my superior position and using tactics like this, I'm able to finally start pushing back on this these two opponents that I'm facing. Yes, two opponents. I'm facing two opponents here. And I'm finally going to start pushing them back towards my horses where I can recover my horses again. Look at the bodies of all the British redcoats in the field. Yeah, putting them down in the hard way. And here again, you can see the horses, and you can see that when they start moving their men through, they get tangled up, and they have a real hard time pushing through, and their pathfinding kind of gets jumbled up. So it has an advantage there, because they'll either have to run around them like you see the Coldstream Guards doing, or they get tangled up and they get confused. It's like a labyrinth of horses. It's just beautiful to partake of. Well, okay, great. That is a nice benefit. I can see that actually being beneficial, dismounting your dragoons. Oh, but wait, we're not done there, Volscare. Once you mount your dragoons back up after retaking the ground where your horses are, oh, just wait till you see this little thing. That's right, I don't know if you saw that, but I just took a shot and I only lost one light dragoon. I lost some horses, but the horses didn't have men on them. So that's another thing. Once you mount your horses back, you're going to have empty horses, and some of the shots that you get taken are going to shoot the empty horses and not the ones with your men on them. So you're actually going to have more protection once you mount them back up, and when you make charges to have more impact as well. Alright, so that's you can see them here riding with half of their men and half extra horses, and you can see here as I attack some other light dragoons, we get some nice little disruptors, because they see the big glop of horses and they think you got a full unit, so you can scare off another competitor because they think you got a full 60-man unit there. It's pretty awesome. Whoa, dude, that's totally awesome. I'm gonna dismount my dragoons all the time now, and then I'll send the horses all over the place. Yeah, that's totally not what I was talking about. That, you can't do that. Yeah, you can't do that. God, he's such a moron. Anyways, I don't know. I mean, I still like my heavy cav, so, you know, there's that. Well, that's totally fine. You can love heavy cav. I love melee cav. I think melee cav is great. Well, I'm just trying to show you another tactic to use light dragoons on, because there's a lot of different ways you can use them. I mean, the dismount feature is there. Might as well use it for something, or you could just, you know, use the dragoons the same old way you always do, and, you know, there's that. But here's an option for you. Maybe you can use it. Maybe you can develop another way to use it. If you have developed another way to use them, let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear how you use Light Dragoons. God, that seemed hard to spit out. Well, I hope you did enjoy this content and this tactic. If you did, please let me know in the comments below, and we will see you on the next one. Thanks again, guys. I appreciate it, as always.